Literally a few minutes before I started recording this video, I was looking at Twitter, checking out the different opinions on this subject, and I was looking at Jason Botchford and what he had to say about this. And literally a few minutes later, I get the notification, I read the tweet from The Athletic, from TSN, that Botchford died. This came out of nowhere. He will be missed. Rest in peace, Jason Botchford. Vancouver fans, you might not have agreed with his takes, but you can't deny that the guy was a personality. He was a presence. He was the embodiment of what it was like of being a passionate Canucks fan. And he did his job amazingly. I'm not gonna sit here act like I know him. I had one interaction with him on Twitter that was very positive. I know that my buddy Clay Emu has had more experiences with him than I have, but even I can sit here and just attest to his very positive impact on Vancouver media and hockey coverage. And I've seen everything that he's done on Canucks media over the past few years, and everybody has always had this respect for Botchford, and you can't break that. He will be missed, for sure. Absolutely, will be missed. I'm actually listening to TSN 1040 on my right ear here on my little ear pod right when I'm recording this video, so to the respect of Jason Botchford, let's continue on with this discussion. This video is about PK Subban and the Vancouver Canucks. Just for reference, though, it is like 9 when I'm recording this video. So, yesterday, Elliot Friedman published his 31 Thoughts article. You know what that is. Everyone knows what that is. It's the great article that comes out that highlights things from around the league. And in this article, thought number 25 is about PK Subban. And he highlights, if PK Subban is available, remember that he's probably a Canuck at the 2016 draft if the Canadiens find a way to draft Pierre-Luc Dubois. And that's a good reminder to everybody on just what happened, because the deal that was apparently in place involved Vancouver and their 5th overall pick. Ultimately, they used that to select Olli Juolevi, but the apparent deal on the table was, if Pierre-Luc Dubois was available at 5, the Vancouver Canucks would have traded that pick to the Canadiens in exchange for PK Subban. Whether it was 1-for-1 or whatever, there were other assets involved, we don't know. But that was the main framework of a deal that was in place. And it was confirmed everywhere. It was on TSN, it was on Sportsnet, I believe. They were covering this a few years after, saying that, yeah, this was actually going to happen. So now, Friedman is bringing this up, saying, yes, guys, the Canucks were in on Subban before. They were the closest out of all the NHL teams, aside from probably Nashville, to getting PK over the past few years. So, if Subban is available again, who's to say that Benning is not going to take it? And there were a lot of perspectives that I saw online, mostly saying no, some saying yes. There's a little bit of a different flavor to this discussion, because everybody can kind of acknowledge the fact that yes, PK would ultimately make this Canucks defensive core better than how it already is. Some would argue the impact to that better, but others would say no, it doesn't really matter how much better he makes it, because the acquisition of Subban itself is the problem. Because this perspective lays out just how the value of Subban is still quite high, despite him being the age that he is and having the season that he just had, which some would say was inferior to seasons that he's had prior to this one. And even though Subban is in a position where his trade value is a little bit lower than where it has been in the past, he's still a player who would cost a lot, which is why a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans are saying, no, we would have to give up quite a bit here. There have been other arguments combating this perspective as well. I know Botchford talked about cap space and weaponizing the cap space specifically. So overall, there are many different layers to this, but if you're looking for my opinion, ultimately I believe that the Canucks would be better with Subban. Yes, I don't think you could debate that. Some people have actually tried debating that, saying that he's a locker room presence or whatever. I don't agree with that. I think that having a guy like Subban ultimately makes the team more stronger on the ice and off the ice, because Subban is a guy who can make friends. I just don't think that Montreal was the best place for him to exhibit that kind of compassion and relationships with others. But, you know, I understand where the perspective comes from. Hey, it didn't work out with Montreal, why would it work out here? But overall, I think that Subban would make the team better, but I don't want to go to the extent of acknowledging what it would take to get him away from Nashville. And people have talked about, yes, he had a down year in Nashville, which is why he's on the block, which is why he's in this vulnerable position, but good players are going to cost what good players cost. And ultimately, I don't think the Canucks have the assets to pry away a good player while keeping what we already have intact, at least the good pieces of what we already have. Which is kind of why I don't really want to talk about this, man. Like, Subban rumors, okay, they come up maybe every year to different teams, and it's the Canucks' turn now because it was apparently going to happen 3 years ago. But as a final verdict, I guess, Subban is a guy that I would like to have on the team, but I don't think it's happening. I don't want to consider the fact that it might be happening. I don't want to even think about it because he is so far away from what the Canucks could be able to afford, in my opinion. And that's my take on Subban. Once again, rest in peace, Jason Botchford. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Social links are gaming. Catch me on air, Evolution 1079, 12, 31, 32, 33, 30 from today, Thursday, and Friday on the Sportscast. And bye.